Well, this is take 47 of this video. We're just heading into the track, into the burn. It's just a beautiful day. Tim and I were talking about temperatures. Seems irrelevant now. It's 73. It's probably a little warmer heading into the sun. 75 right now, which would make it just south of 22. Yes, just south of 22. It's going to be a gorgeous day, a gorgeous weekend. I can't wait. You know, I had to text Ollie's coach today here in Ohio. So he plays baseball in Ohio for a little regional, little team, little town team. You know, it's good for reps. It's good for him to get practicing on the field. And, you know, the deal was they know in Ohio that he's committed to golf, and when he can play in Ohio, he plays. Well, I had to tell him that I made a little mistake. I guess deep down I didn't look closely enough is what I didn't do. He was supposed to play baseball tonight, a road game, and instead I told him, I said, listen, our family's about to get really busy. Both Ollie and Amy and I, the kids, everybody's going to get really busy really soon, and I just wanted to spend some time with my son. So we took the day off. We're going to Pittsburgh. I'm gonna race all afternoon. We only have Manhattan money in this afternoon later in the card.
We still have.
Yep, we still have. And tomorrow is when all the fireworks go off. It's going to be a really, really cool day tomorrow for racing. Amy's going to be over here because she wants to race Memento Mori, so she's looking forward to that. Then, you know, we have Looks Like Money. Not so excited about Western Warrior just yet, but we have Looks Like Money. 3-point blue chip through the outside. I'm looking for an improved performance from him. And then obviously we're going to end off our day at the Meadows with Spitfire Overseas, which should be a great day. But I am looking forward to the night also, watching the races. Gaslight Hall is going to make his first sophomore start. He's going to need a couple of starts. I told Dominic, he said, well, do you want to qualify him again? That non-winners 2 hasn't been splitting. I said, well, here's my problem with the qualifying. We qualify him twice, then James goes out and qualifies him again for money. Yes, honey?
I don't want my pizza.
Okay, we're going to have to hold on to it and drink it a little bit. Maybe Ollie can drink it for you.
No, I don't drink.
Well, do you want to drink hers? Okay. You know, James is going to drive me easy his first start regardless. And, you know, we all know that we've been trying to manage him, and I just don't want to waste a start. With the second qualifier, the horse qualified in 2 minutes, come 27-1. James is going to drive him very easily tomorrow. You know that. I know that. So what's the need for the second qualifier? So we'll do it. We'll do it this way. If they split the non-winners of 2, enter Chicago and Gaslight. If they don't split the non-winners of 2, enter Chicago and qualify Gaslight. Fair? So that was the deal we had struck, and they end up splitting the non-winners of 2. So Gaslight Hall is going to make his sophomore debut. And then we have Country Dancing, who, quite frankly, she has to race better on Friday, or this might be her last start with us. It's very difficult. You know, you're now seeing, everybody that knows, I think the most people that are involved with Country Dancing, but all of you are seeing, there is a thin line between an okay overnight horse, a good overnight horse, a great overnight horse. You know, you look at a horse like Blue Ventura, fantastic in the class he's in right now, but he's going to struggle when we get him into the stakes, right? So our job is to manage and traverse those cliffs and try and get him into a spot where he can do good. But if they can't do in the stake program, and they're in, you know, the non-winners of 2 at Mohawk is no joke, you know, 53, 54. And if you can't do in there, what you're left with is a well-bred filly with a 2-year-old mark of 53 that is stakes placed. I'm saying it in that right way because that would make her worth pretty good money as a broodmare, but as a racehorse, just a racehorse. And that's the frustrating part. We see it now. You've seen it throughout the springs. We had some horses start that we got rid of, right? And you're going to see it when we race our 2-year-olds. You guys know that. Everybody looks good in high school baseball, right? There's quite a difference between college, D1, and then, you know, the minors and the majors. And we're looking for major league prospects is what we're looking for. You know, we have a big burn, but we want to continue to have the best horses we can, and then bring better horses along always, whether we acquire them through private sales or whether we buy them at the yearling sales and race them throughout. We want to fill our barn full of quality horses. Now, they can't all be top of the food chain horses, but we'll talk about some of the other horses and the roles that they play. A horse like Vehement, right? Last night, raced great. Horse I just said, Blue Ventura, racing great. They will find it difficult at some point. Our job is to race them to that point potentially move them on, whether that be to a new jurisdiction to race for us if it's a little softer, or a new jurisdiction to race for somebody else if it's not. So you always have this mix going on. I mean, this isn't new. Everybody knows this. It's one of her stable clients. If you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. I'm beating the same old drum, right? I'm trying to buy horses, turn them into great horses. Buy good horses, turn them into great horses. Buy great horses and continue to race them against great horses. And all the while moving out the horses that just can't continue to compete. So that's what we've always been trying to do. That's what we're going to continue to try and do. And it's worked well. It's served us well so far. So we're going to talk about yesterday, Arrowhead Hanover. I said in one of my many earlier videos, I thought that I was maybe just a hair overconfident with him yesterday. As it turned out, he scoped with a little bit of mucus in his airway, 3 out of 5, which is more than enough. Probably easily the reason that he got beat yesterday. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself after the race, maybe I could have waited till after the quarter pole to move him. He was 3 to 5. Maybe I could have went a little slower to the half. Maybe I could have sunk into him down the backstretch. He's not known to be a sprinter, so I was trying to play to his strengths and stay away from his weaknesses. And as it turned out, I got picked off anyway. He raced good. Yesterday was his first start in 2 weeks. Before that, it was 2 weeks. Now the next 4 weeks he's going to race. Yesterday, next week, the Sire Stake on the 9th, and then the Bunker Hill on the 15th. After that, we'll likely look to give him a week or 2 off. I have to look at his schedule again. That would be the plan for me. We don't want to get him in a stretch of races where he's racing 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. 3 or 4 is okay. I'd like to give him a short little break of a week or 2 after that. But I have to look at the calendar to see what that looks like. So Arrowhead raced good yesterday. I guess he raced better than I thought after finding the scope. And this is all just white mucus, not sick mucus, not stuff that's going to linger, just stuff that we have to clean up. But all in all, I don't think he raced very bad. I know somebody said, well, it's a condition claimer that beat him. None of that stuff matters, right? None of it matters. Every horse can get beat by lots of other horses. Listen, if you put Blue Ventura up against grassroots horses at Northfield and he has things his own way, he's going to beat them. Might even beat better horses than you think, given the opportunity. But on any given Sunday, as they say, right? Anybody can win or lose on any given Sunday. And you know, in horse racing, it's not Sunday, it's every day. So I don't really care who beat him. He raced okay. He'll come back with a better race next week. And coming off a tremendous performance where he was a winner with the earplugs in at 55-1 2 weeks ago, he's already proved that he's on his way. I wouldn't call yesterday a regressive step. I would call it maybe a stumble. So I'm not really worried about Arrowhead Hanover. Grand Slam Dio, you know, a couple of people messaged me and said, do we have to get rid of her now? You know, you're moving all these horses and you're keeping her. Well, she's in a little bit of a different category. One, she's blue blood. She's a very well-bred filly. This is a propulsion sister to Up Your Dio. The entire family is a good family. So the exit strategy on Grand Slam Dio was always breeding. I don't think there's any hurry to get her off the track and breed her right now. Just relax. She fits the same kind of category that maybe a couple of years ago we raced Horn Player. And Horn Player was the... Yes, honey? I don't have room up there. Can you just put it in the cup holder?
I am.
Okay. Maybe Tim can hold it for you. There you go. You sure you don't want the rest of that? You didn't like it?
I didn't, but I don't really want it.
Do you want me to save it?
Yeah, next time I want it.
Oh, so you don't like that kind. All right, no problem. So, Grand Slam Dio, very well-bred filly, very nice filly. Just let her progress. I know I've been touting her, and I said she was better, and I said she trained downgrade. She did. The day I trained her in 2 minutes, she was awesome. She got to get to 55. The good news is she's already been in 55 as a 2-year-old. So I really thought that, and I was the first one to say it, I was wrong. I really thought the trip to Ontario was the right move. I thought that was the move to make. I thought we were on the right track with her, and we weren't. It was my mistake. But I think getting away last, trotting in 57 last quarter and 29, had to trot out in 59, I guess, yesterday. Not really in the race, just participating. You know, I could see where she could easily win in 55, 56 as filly. So I would like to put some numbers on the board, you know, make some money with her, with the obvious as I said, exit strategy being selling her as a broodmare prospect, because she absolutely is. So I know, was I, happy with her trip yesterday? No, I wasn't excited about it, but I wasn't disappointed either. The takeaway was she was what? Here's the seller's point of the filly. Beat a length for third, 57 last quarter, 29 came from last, and was closing at the wire. Passing horses doing so. There's the silver lining paragraph from yesterday. Yo Mister was good. Stacy's right. He doesn't. I kept telling you could tell Brett wanted to put Tyler in the 2-hole and he just wouldn't go in. And Yo Mister does not pass well on the left. Doesn't pass well on the right either, but definitely doesn't pass well on the left. He does his best work now. He's changed. He's done his best work. Does his best work on the front. I think if he had been able to get to the outside at the head of the lane, he's probably a winner. He raced good in finishing third, and I was happy with his performance. Mounds for All. It looked like Brett had a real problem. Here's the problem with Mounds for All. He doesn't snap off the car good, but then he wants to start to accelerate going into the turn, and Brett's trying to find a spot for him where he's in a good place. You just got to know the horse, right? When I made front with him, remember we talked about how leaving the outside with Looks Like Money is a good spot at the Meadows. They let you go away later, and you can accelerate coming off the car because you're further up the stretch, you're in the middle of the straightaway, and then as you get to the turn, then you can let Mounds for All dance, right? You just can't drop the lines and let him trot off the gate. He will make a break. Now, when it comes to Mounds for All, if you bring him into the car and let him just go out in fourth gear, probably 3 or 4 pylons off the car, you can let him accelerate. So leaving from the outside 6 or 7 for a horse like Mounds for All, you can have that delayed leave, much like I did with Never Lose Felix the other day. Can't really snap off the car, but if you just give me a clear lane going into the turn, he will accelerate into the turn and take over the lead. Now, obviously a much slower thing, but a very, very similar situation. And with Mounds for All, that's the same type of thing. You need to go out at 28-second speed, but after you're 4 or 5 pylons off the car, he can accelerate to 27 in a piece speed, and that's why I was able to make front with him 28, maybe not 27, 4, 28 speed. That's what he can do. But when you get away, when you have the 3-hole, couple got you looped from the outside, couple got you beat from the inside. Now you're sitting 7th in the middle. You're trying to get him away in a spot where you can move him. There's a couple horses looking for holes. You're fighting with them. That's not the best spot for him. That's not Brett's fault. That's just the horse. He leaves 5, 6, even 7. You need to come out kind of flat-footed, and then let him accelerate forward. It might be, and I'll tell you who's the exact same way. Spitfire Overseas is the exact same way. He can't leave to save his life, but they'll get you there 27 seconds, but it takes the whole quarter to get him there. Same as Looks Like Money. That's why at Miami Valley, here's a horse that showed making front at the Meadows twice in 27-1, yet it was all I could do to keep up 8th going into the first turn with him at Miami Valley. It's just a different setting, a different racetrack, but he did race good. Just need to see a better trip for him. He's not an easy horse to get a better trip for. When you don't have that tool of gate speed, it makes it kind of difficult. And I think Brett will find it a little easier when he leaves 5 or 6 with him. And again, Sciota's coming, maybe a better footing for him, a different track. Now, Melisandre, her feet are hurting her. She warmed up better. Dr. Latessa did some work on her, but you can't just magically make things better. And I have to believe, it felt to me like she saw something spooked her in the first turn, because she kind of bolted left, right, and then kind of rolled off. And the one thing that Melisandre doesn't do is make breaks, generally speaking. She is not what I would call a breaker. She is the easiest horse to drive. She just didn't feel super comfortable last night. I know her feet are bothering her. I could tell by the way her back was tight. So I think what we'll do, we'll switch her from that 9/16 trotting shoe that she has on to race her in the final. We'll put the flip-flops on her, I believe, and she wore them as a 2-year-old, so it's not foreign to her. We'll put them on her for the final. And again, you watch the last half. I was mad she made a break, and I worked her real hard after that. She trotted 2 minutes last half, 58 last quarter, 29 after making a break. She just needs, and she usually does focus. I can't really tell you why she made that break last night, other than I'm going to say that her feet were stinging her a little bit. Something startled her and she rolled off stride. That was the feeling I got from Melisandre. Memory and imagination. Listen, if he can't do in that class, I said to Stacy last night, if you can't do in that class, he's got to go. So he's got 8 wins. He'll do somebody some good somewhere. I really thought both him and Irresistible Son, when they come back as 4-year-olds, would be much better than they are. You know, it's a cautionary tale too to all of us, is to pay attention, because the sophomore division, the 3-year-olds, it's not like they're aged horses. Those are not aged horses divisions. And it's not just the maturity, but all of them. When you're racing against all 3-year-olds and then you get into mixed company, well, you look at Gorgeous Package. She's raced well this year, but soundly defeated by aged horses that were coming out of the open in many cases. It's just a lot to ask for a horse. That transition is very, very difficult, and I did think that both those horses would do it a little bit better, and both of them have struggled. Now, I think Memory and Imagination has won that class already in Miami Valley, but the biggest problem I have is they don't always split it, and they may very well not split it next week with all these stakes going on. And if they don't, I want Mounds for All to be the one racing in there. He looks like he's the freshest legs right now, and the better looking horse in that division. So you may actually see Memory and Imagination up for sale here very, very soon. It's just the way it is. I need places to race our horses consistently and confidently. And with Memory, if you can't do in that class, where am I getting the confidence from? What class am I going to find for him? So I love the horse, nice horse, but at the same time, there may be a chance that you'll see him up for sale soon. Now, Gymboree, so first off, absolutely not my fault last night. She was advancing 3 wide. The one thing I will say about her, she doesn't look super healthy right now. Everybody else is shedding and looking shiny, and Gymboree still looks a little woody, like it's springtime still. And last night she felt like she was going to attack 3 wide, and then she got to the turn and she sat on me a little. Well, that could have been bad. She sat on me a little bit, and I have to believe also this is another filly that the Chimpanzees, their knees and feet bothered them a little bit. The track was a little firm last night. I want to believe it played a major role in Melisandre's miscue, and I believe she just kind of sat on me, just softened a little bit getting into the last turn. Kurt caught up to the horse in front of him and come out just a hair, and I had to adjust myself not to grab Kurt's wheel. And when I did, Aaron come up from behind me and hooked me from behind. So I'm not trying to say that it was Kurt's fault or Aaron's fault. Everybody was kind of in the middle, but for sure it wasn't my fault. And we ended up locked up hard. Couldn't go anywhere. I think by the way Aaron was advancing, I might have been 4th. I might have been 3rd, but I was not going to be 1st or 2nd in that race last night. So I do expect a little bit more from her. Another horse that we could potentially just slide those flip-flops on for next week. A lot of the time when you see the horses, they're just not starting to shine up. You get a beautiful sunny day. We've been training them hard for a couple of weeks, and they just don't shine up the way they should in this weather. More of the times than not, it's a little bit stress. She didn't bleed. Now, we'll draw her blood, but I don't think you're going to find a whole lot in there. I think it was mostly that she just a little stressed out, feet are a little bit sore. So we're going to help her out next week for the final also. I think she's as good or better than any of those horses in that race. Give me the 3 or 4 or 5 hole, or give me anywhere south of 5. You know, have her comfortable coming in, have her sharp, feeling good, and she will give them all they want. But again, last night she was going to be 3rd or 4th. I wasn't, I was starting to feel that my night was deteriorating, right? Started with Arrowhead. Grand Slam Dio was a pitch. I wasn't that worried about her. Yo Mister, a beaten 3rd. Mounts for All, a beaten 3rd. Memory seemed flat. Melisandre made a break. I was starting to get a little deflated. And then we have Vehement. Who knows what it's like when I was a kid, you used to get that brown paper bag full of candy. You have no idea what was in it. That's Vehement every time you race. I know you said he looks consistent because he puts in an effort, but he looks consistent because you have to tailor make the way you drive him for how he feels that particular day. You can't go out and drive him the same way all the time. Once in a while he'll leave, other times he wants to get away last. Yeah. And you really just have to drive him accordingly. So last night, I didn't know what we'd get. Scored down good, felt good. I got away as close as I wanted to be, and there was a gentleman on the outside of me going to the quarter pole. I said, I can't move him at the quarter pole. I don't know where you're going, but I don't. I think the horse is long odds anyway. I don't know why the gentleman left and just sat outside. I have no idea. But it didn't take long for him to disappear. He retreated quite quickly, and I was left with a spot where I could be second over behind Luke. It looked like Luke's horse wasn't going to advance at all. And I'm like, great, now I'm 3 wide. And as it turned out, Luke's horse did advance. It ended up being the horse that I had to run down for the win in the final stride. So, Vehement raced great. Mommy, it looks like she might have just went down to the bathroom. She said she had laundry, I think, in down there. Just doing stuff, getting ready because we're not going to be here. What's that, honey?
Can I go down?
Yeah, if that's where she is. I know she's not far. Okay, guys, take your garbage out, please. Thank you. Don't go far. So, Vehement raced well. Got up to win, and actually, you know, he would have had to win 2 or 3 times last night to save the day. I was still a little disappointed as I left the racetrack, but you know, just you shouldn't whine too much. We had a good second with Arrowhead Hanover. Yo Mister was a good third. Mounds for All was third. We had a break and interference. The only flat mile of the day that I can see now that I look back, because Grand Slam Deal wasn't flat. The only flat mile of the day was Memory and Imagination, and he's been pretty good for the most part since he's gone down there. So a decent day there. Today we're a little softer. We Manhattan Money. He's 2-1. I don't know how he'll do, but I'm hopeful he'll do well. And then we have Gorgeous Package and Freedom Hill. Now, the whole point of me not going to Cincinnati today was so I could hang out with the kids on their spring break. As it turned out, might have pissed off his baseball coach a little bit here in Ohio. Might have shortchanged myself a little bit with regards to racing. In Pennsylvania, but you know what? I'll happily take the kids over with Amy. Just have a quiet day, and watch Gorgeous Package. So Gorgeous Package, I mean, she's 4-1 and Freedom Hill is 2-1. So odds being what they may, it looks like a great day. I'm a little skeptical. Manhattan Money, when I looked at the proof of the race, that looks like a stiff enough bunch. So we'll see how he races. And then, of course, Gorgeous Package in with their own kind now, but this is the Hackett. Now the Hackett went right to the final, 75,000, but this is like a prep race for 25, and it's no joke. There's some good horses in there. And, of course, Freedom Hill coming off a so-so race. Her liver is coming down. I'm glad that we got a little break to get that down because they always race terrible when it's like that. And then tomorrow, as I said, all the fireworks tomorrow. I'm so excited about tomorrow. Excited to race Memento Mori. Looks like money. Not so much Western Warrior, but still, you know, whatever. We'll get what we can get with him. And then 3-point blue chip again from Post 8. Spitfire Overseas should close out the day. I see at least 2 or 3 horses with very, very good shots tomorrow. And then really excited to watch Gaslight Hall's, I was going to say qualifier because it likely will be, but his race tomorrow night. Country Dancing, watching her very, very closely. And then we get Tech Song, whose blood, Megan messaged me, you know, his blood still isn't great. His differential's still a little flipped. His white count was really low, which he's just going through a little bit of a virus. So he raced good last week. Hopefully he can bounce back and race good again tomorrow. But I know she's working hard to get him good in New York. And Chicago Hall will round out our day. A horse that's probably got an extremely good chance to win, 5-2. So as it looks like right now, all the horses today on odds have a chance to win. To me, I thought they looked like they were all in a little bit tough. But we'll see. They all should get some checks. And then tomorrow, 1, 2, even 3 points got a shot outside. But we'll talk about Spitfires 3, Tech Song in Chicago 4-5. We have 4 or 5 horses tomorrow that got great shots. And then we follow that up with Saturday. Trosa, what are his odds? James is driving him. He's 9-2. Coming off the virus, but he is training good, so we'll see how he races. Rose Run Alexander, great race from her last week. I actually tried to get Chris Lems to drive her again, just because it was my only drive of the night. I think I had 2 other drives. I said, no, I'm not staying late at Northfield. I'm just going to drive my horse and go home. So we have Rose Run Alexander in third, Resolve Indeed in the final of the spring series. She's 5-1, going for 46, so that's good. Rose Run AJ, this will be one of his last starts in Ontario. He races tonight also, and races Saturday also. And Neptune. We'll finish off our week Sunday with 3 of our bigger guns: Rock Shining Stars, Save America, and Greatest Ending. 2 9-holes in a rail. Sunday is going to be a tough venture for the stable. So now you're all caught up. I'll talk to you guys later on today. But today, you know, this is just last weekend. It was great to hang out with Amy and the kids in Toronto. this weekend I want to hang out with Amy and the kids in the Pittsburgh area. I'll be back here to train on Saturday, but we're going to take Friday off. Because I know, deep down I know how crazy it's about to get. So we'll square that away. All right? Take care. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And are you going to stay?
No, I'm going to go home today.
Like I said, you're welcome to crash there. Anyway, all right. For me, for Tim, you guys have a wonderful Thursday. I will talk to you all very soon.